Good morning, everybody. I slept in today, and it was everything I thought it was going to. So I said in one of my last videos that we were going to talk more about policy and uh, strategy. So I'm going to wait, see if anybody comes in. Maybe. Oh, I need to turn my chat on. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So I was thinking about this from the perspective of the policies that we can start working on, and what would create the maximum amount of good and free up people to devote to the political process, um, so that way we can have more people that we could bring in. And I'm thinking, now I've heard this said a lot about the Green New Deal, but I know I've heard some people say, well, it's about clean energy, or it's about creating jobs. But I mean, I don't really want to speak in just with vagueness and just say, well, a Green New Deal. Well, when I get asked, like, what do you mean by a Green New Deal? I want to be able to say, these are the list of things that I think that should be incorporated in it. All right, so we got some people coming in. Let's see. I don't think I have anybody in chat yet, but we got people watching, so okay. Now, first of all, we need, everybody keeps saying jobs. Jobs that's how I think Trump won, is he ran on jobs. Even though I thought it was obvious that he wasn't going to follow through with that. Okay, Anthony said a Green New Deal can't be implemented without a jobs program, point blank. Yeah, absolutely, because, I mean, there's just so much stuff that needs to be, there's just so much stuff that needs to be done as far as our infrastructure and stuff like that. I mean, we need to be on clean energy. We need to get away from, like, all this, fossil fuels. So what can we do? I'm rambling. I probably should have woken up a little bit more before I started live streaming, but bear with me. I'll wake up. Hey, Chris. Okay, so what kind of jobs would be in the Green New Deal? Because I think this is something that we should have been stressing from day one with the Green New Deal. Guy McPherson, global dimming. I haven't even heard about that, but I'll write it down. I'm finally off from work, so all these live streams I've been doing over the past week, I can actually get caught up on some of the information y'all been giving me. All right, the Dems are leading us on again. Oh, Peter, that's I don't trust the party. I think there's some good people that try to run within the party, but I don't trust the party that they'll even let people, like anybody that really wants to make a change, make the change. Search Jamal Thomas. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know Jamal Thomas did an interview with him. Okay. Yeah. I usually stay up with his videos, but I guess I missed that one. Okay. Green New Deal jobs. What kind of jobs will we be creating? I think that we should have a program within it that, hey, Bluebell, I think we should have a program in it for, like how we had the interstate infrastructure, the building of the interstate, like back in the first New Deal. I think so, if I remember correctly. We should do that, but with internet. Because in a lot of places, especially in rural areas, people don't have access to the internet. It would create jobs, and it would be bringing information to people. Because right now, in these places where they're, living in rural areas, they don't have access to the internet. They have to rely on what for news? Either the bought off newspaper, the bought off local news, or the bought off radio. So they're getting propaganda in it. And it's not that these are dumb people, but they don't have access to information contrary to what they're being given. So, Badger Demon, yeah. I can see that. It's like, what is that saying? You stare into the abyss and the abyss stares back. Good morning, Benny. Good to see you. Y'all, Benny has a channel, and she's awesome. If you haven't, she's always just chilling, showing us like her desert and sunrises, and taking us on little trips to the farmers market. Lots of pot smoking and music. It's chill over there. I love it. Love your channel, Benny. United on the Green New Deal. If anyone thinks Dems are delivered, good to see you, Independent. If anyone thinks Dems are delivering a Green New Deal, prepare for no, I think that's just a co-opting the language. And maybe some of them believe that they're going to do it, but the Democrats will not allow for change within their party. Yeah, so I would like to see the internet. What ideas do y'all have as far as what kind of jobs we would be creating? And also, that's another thing that goes into the Green New Deal is the fact that if everybody has access to the internet, we could have more communication between us. We could have people, instead of driving into work and using gasoline, we could have people using the internet to work from home. Stuff like that. I mean, it might seem like a little, drop in the hat, but every little bit counts. Oh, Bluebell. Yeah, we all needed to believe. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been there with the need to believe. I mean, when things are just so bad, it's easy. And it's hard because when you don't believe, it's oftentimes you can either end up going down a rabbit hole of, not believing in anything or just becoming cynical. So it's really hard to walk that line between like one extreme or just falling for it. It is. Yeah, true, Peter. Yeah, I mean, not everybody can do that, but I think it would free up, some things. I mean, some people. If 10% of the workforce went on stop for 24, oh yes, Benny, I would love to see that. I would love to see workers just shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Do not give them, because that's the thing. I've talked about this before, and I'm not much on, I'm not really too good at like science or physics and stuff like that, but it's a simple equation to create force, and it's like work times, multiplied by time over, whatever it is. You can calculate power. There's a calculation to so that you can calculate how much power is being generated, and that's all we have to do. We're giving them our time, we're giving them our work, we're giving them all this stuff to create that power for them. And one of the biggest things is our work. Not only would it shut them down financially, but it would shut down, it would show them how unified that we are. That when we want something, we stick. You know how they stick together to screw us? We can stick together too. But the problem with that is you know people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not like they have a savings or something that they can dip into if they want to strike. Yeah, Benny, why are we keeping them fat while we grind and we're poor? We're fighting the police state and we're fighting the economic fascism. Yes, Anthony, and that leaves most of the country behind, and they aren't educated on the issues or straight up too preoccupied to even listen. Exactly. So what we have to do in order to, if we're going to get something through, that we create the most amount of good, to create people that don't that can get people out of that trap, because that's our biggest problem right now is people are in that and they can't get out of it. Hey Lisa, oh yeah, Lisa's got a show today too. You got a new game going on, don't you? I saw a video. I haven't watched it, but I saw that you've got a new game that you're going to be trying out. So I'm probably going to head over there whenever you get started at 2 p.m. All right, we'll see you over there. Yay! Actually off work, so I get to participate. Okay. I get so distracted so easy. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So we want to have an internet. Do we agree on that? Like we want to create some more internet infrastructure. I think we're pretty much on that. Yes. Okay. All right. I don't want to write anything because I make notes. I have, not to sound like Mitt Romney, but I have binders full of notes. You know. So I gotta keep track of this stuff because if not, it just goes into the abyss. All right. Yeah, Peter. Peter said life expectancy in America has gone down 3 years in a row due to suicides and diseases of despair. The elite are literally killing us. Yeah. Well, the age of retirement in some of the counties here in my state is higher than the life expectancy. So they're literally just trying to work you until you die so you don't get a retirement. Because, you know, once you're retired, you'll need a pension and you'll need health care and you're not, why pay for all that when they can just kill you off slowly? My guess is local groups. I mean, not to sound hokey or anything, but honestly, this right here. Yes, and once you retire, you have time to be active against them. That's another excellent point, Bluebell. And you've been around the block long enough to see the cycles of politicians. So, you're not, I mean, I was young when I voted for Obama. It's not like I had a, great reference point about previous people. So, but then as I get older, as I see this one's not any different than that one, They don't want an active middle class. No, that's where's that middle class? I haven't seen them around in a while. Mm-hmm. Chris Hedges said that we should be getting involved in community radio, presumably because the elite. Yeah, I think that I need to look more into that. Like, how do you even get into something like that? Because I know a lot of people rely on radio here. Not everybody can have TV or access to that. The media is the number one threat because, yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. I not sound hokey, but I think that like this is where we need to start is when nobody's even discussing this stuff. I mean, we're not, and I try to work this in. I mean, I'm not trying to be like too preachy about it, but when it's natural in a conversation, just to throw in little tidbits. Like, I was at work and we were talking about Wesley Snipes and him going to prison for, not paying taxes. And I said, you know what? I said, you know who else hasn't paid their taxes? I said, our governor. I said, he still owes like $2 million. I said, but he's not in prison. I wonder why. So, just little things like that. And it's just like, it's not, just people don't know about it. Yeah, and Pager said that something that happened to you with Obama is happening to millennials right now. They really have not much of an idea about what's going on. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think like I was still in a place where I didn't have like internet. I didn't really use the internet back then. I didn't have access to it. So maybe, I mean, these kids are born with like phones in their hands. Maybe they actually are a little bit more aware. I don't know. I'd have to talk to more young people. And nothing makes you feel older than when you say the young people. But I think they're also more aware of it too, because they have such a bleak future. And what do they have to look forward to, I mean, they feel it, even if they're not maybe consciously thinking about it. They feel it, they know it, they sense it. Kids aren't dumb. They've got an excellent BS detector. Oh, Bluebell, you're Occupy? We got the crap kicked out of us on a daily basis. Wow, I had no idea. You might have told me this before, but I must have missed it or something. Wow, that's fantastic. You were there. I mean, I'd love to hear about more about your experience and what you thought was, like what the best aspects of it was, and what we can do to build on that. I mean, because if you witnessed it firsthand. In 2008, you was in high school, didn't learn about Occupy till 2015 because the media takes your eye off the ball. Yeah. I think I was in college. No, I was working. I was getting ready to go to college, though. No, wait. I don't know. All the years kind of blend together after a while. Wow, Peter said his mom wanted to join the Occupy and she's in her 80s. Go, Mom. I love people like that. That's what I want to grow up to be. Like I want to be. I don't want to be that calm little. Oh, let me just bake you some cookies. I want to be that. I want to be the wild mama. That's how my grandma was. I mean, she was fiercely independent and opinionated and talked, and she just didn't. She didn't care. Wild mama. I hear you, Bluebell. Keep it wild. All right. So okay, I wanna get somewhere with this. I do love talking to you, but let's see. I gotta get my boy here in about an hour or so. Hopefully. Benny said, "Sat for the last 2+ years, watched everyone running around with their eyes wide shut, saying the sky is falling, but nobody wants to do anything. That would really change things." Yeah. Are y'all familiar with the story of the little red hen? Because I thought this was like a pretty common thing, but I've talked to people before and they're not familiar with this story. And it's this little red hen. She's got her little chickies, and everybody wants this bread, but nobody would help her plant the wheat. It was like all these animals, the fox and all these different ones. They wouldn't help her, plant the wheat. They wouldn't help her harvest the wheat. They wouldn't help her grind it up to make the bread. But then once the bread was made, everybody was there wanting a piece of it. All right, and that's the thing that we're doing right now is we're not planting our seeds, we're not harvesting our grain, but everybody shows up on election day and wants their bread. And it's just not going to work like that. And I know that so many people, and that's why I want to break this trap that we're in, because so many people are in that trap where they just, it's a cycle that just keeps repeating itself. We are good chickies. Yeah, we're hard work. We plant our own grain here. Like that's why we're here. So we are the seeds. All right, so we've got strategy. So I think we have to talk about strategy when we talk about these policies, because we're trying to get people out of this trap, which means we need people with we need to be able to create more work for these people, or something along those lines. Revolutionary parties against the political parties. What if we were to start local groups that are fun? You know what, Peter? That is not a bad idea. People that are scared and lonely, groups that give support and fun could take off like wildfire. Well, what's the best way to get anything done? What's the best way to get anything done? When I'm working, oh my God. When I'm working, when I'm cleaning the house, which that's what my sister is telling me that she's doing right now, so I take that as I need to be cleaning. Yeah, I'm gonna help her out in a little. I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off. I don't know how to mute this. Y'all, is there a way to mute this? Okay, I gotta yell. So I'm gonna mute microphone. Okay. This is how we communicate here. Yeah, okay, so back to the fun. I mean, whenever I'm cleaning or whatever, I put music on. Why? Because it makes it more fun. When you want to learn something, new, what do? If you make it more fun, like especially like when you're teaching kids and stuff, you make it fun. If it's not fun, nobody wants to do it. I mean, why make something boring and serious when it doesn't have to be? As long as you're still getting the same things across. Oh my God. I know y'all are hearing this chiming every time I get a text, aren't you? I probably should have muted this before I got on here. Okay. All right. At Freckle Red. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up on there. I need to get back into Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter in like a year. So. Okay, Bluebell, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm definitely going to be picking your brain on Occupy later. What? Propaganda. India and Pakistan peace talks and a partial open border. No, I didn't know about this. The American empire will collapse within a decade. Last night. Oh, Chris Hedges' interview with the American empire will collapse within a decade. Depressing, but very good. No. I have read Chris Hedges' new book, America: The Farewell Tour, and the first 2 chapters, it was like a gut punch, because he didn't make any kind of opinions, didn't do anything like that, didn't, it was just him stating straight facts. Like, this is how many people that were killed here. This is how much money that, these people are making. This is how poor Americans are. This is how many people die every year from lack of health care. This is how many people are drinking poison water every single day. This is how many people are unemployed. This is how many people are incarcerated. I mean, it was just straight facts. And it was like, this is the policies that Obama had. These are the people he had in office, his Goonies. These are the people that, Bill Clinton and George Bush had in office and their Goonies and what they did. I mean, it's just, it was not, I mean, he didn't sugarcoat it. And we're at that stage now, we don't need it to be sugarcoated. Because I think we've been doing that whole hopey, changey, maybe hero, type of thing, and it's, no, we need we need to be real honest about how bad things are here, because this American exceptionalism lie that we've been fed, it's not true. It's not true, and we all know it, we all feel it, but it's not something we really think about. And when he just lays all those facts out, I mean, it really did feel like a gut punch. I'm like, at the end of it, I'm like, if you're not depressed reading a Chris Hedges book, you're not paying attention. But it's true. And the chapter on heroin was really, I mean, I actually cried reading that book. Not to, like all wimpy about it, but I mean, just when you look at how bleak things are, I mean, it's not, how do you not mourn for people, but at the end, he started touching on DAPL and stuff like that. And these are the ways that we make the difference. That is how. Oh, Propaganda, you've read almost all of his books. I've read a couple of them now, like 3 or 4. Wages of Rebellion, his newest one. What was that one? Unspeakable. And I'm about halfway through Death of the Liberal Class. Sheldon Wolin, Democracy, Inc. Everyone, again, isn't the answer. The thing is, we talk, and what can we do right now? Yeah, I get antsy. Like, I'm like, okay, we're talking. Yeah, that's nice. But what are we gonna do? Like, we need to do something. But we can do something. I mean, talking isn't just talking, because we're reaching people, and we're planning. We're not just shooting the shit. We're actually planning what our next steps are going to be. I mean, the hardest part of any job, and this is what my grandma always told me, was preparation. Doing the job is usually, if it takes like 30 minutes, doing the prep work, like if you're going to paint a room, okay, painting the room isn't the hard part. Taping everything off, going and getting the paint, making sure everything's set up, putting everything down in plastic. Once you get everything prepped up for the actual job, the job itself, fairly easy. So this is what we're doing right now. We're doing our prep work. So we're going to get our strategy together. We're going to get our policies together. And then after that, we can move forward into into action. Oh, God. Peter. Peter says, my church spent 2 years talking about whether or not to put up a Black Lives Matter banner. When I pointed out that people were dying while they talked, they called me impatient. No, it's like, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, it's not even about the group. Are they arguing about the group? How about just put up a banner that says, stop letting cops kill black people, unarmed citizens. Black people and unarmed citizens. Why? Hold the police accountable, I don't think that's too hard. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get away from like, I want to focus more on this stuff, because when you start saying, well, I'm a member of this or I'm a label of that, and and then that's when everything. But most people can agree, we don't want to see cops, crazy cops running around shooting unarmed people. Do you think yellow vest type riots are coming to America? Will it do any good? Are you talking about like the ones that happened over in France? Yeah, Peter, I wonder that too. How can a church ignore war and the fact we were bombing children? Jesus loved all the little children, except for those in Yemen and Afghanistan and Iraq and Palestine. You know, not those. Or Syria. Yeah. Yeah. Anthony said that lady from Australia won't eat meat when she comes to the States. Remember when, like, people would say, well, if you're visiting Mexico or somewhere, don't drink the water? You realize that's us now, right? Like, when you go to America, like, that's how people talk about us now. No, don't drink their water. Oh, and watch out for their cops, because, you might get gunned down, and you got to watch out for, I mean, it's just crazy. And I rail against this, not because I've met so many good Christians. I really have, that honestly love and care about people, but the also I've seen a lot of Christians that they use that. I mean, it is. I think the religion just really amplifies whatever it is that you have in your heart. Whatever it is you have in your brain. So if you're a good person, you look in the scripture and you see all the good things about helping people and loving people. But if you have hatred in your heart, you're going to look in there and you're going to say, well, I should be hating gays. Well, I need to screw the poor. What do they ever do? That's just God punishing them. I think it's just amplification. It just amplifies whatever it is that's already in you. Exactly, Bob. Okay, Bob Emerson asked a good question. Why is your state red? I remember when West Virginia was one of the bluest states. We haven't had a Republican governor in over 100 years. We even the one that we have now, labeled Republican. Now, all of them, what is it called, the Overton window, because of that, yeah, we've been electing Republicans for the last 20, 30 years, at least. But we used to be really Democratic. But guess what? The Democratic Party, people started seeing through it, and they're angry because we were Democratic like we were Christians. Okay, that's just what you are. You are that. I mean, Republican, that's not an option. That's always Republicans were for rich people. But now that's what the Democrats, they turned their backs on the working people. They have done nothing for us. And so now all those Democrats that were here flipped because they think that they see the Republicans as strong. They see them as promising and offering jobs. And they go after the Democrats. They like that because they're pissed off at the Democrats. And so now we have this overwhelming, red state. And it's just a matter of time before they get burned by them too. Which is why I think, third party. Because I'm tired of going back and forth like, which abuser is gonna abuse me less. Like maybe pick somebody that isn't gonna abuse us. It's hard to find good Christians in Utah. The leaders are a little better on the immigrants. Most of the people here would shoot them on sight. Oh, that's so tragic. Bob said, I agree, but when will you see through the red? Do you feel it's happening? I think it's still a little bit fresh because, like I said, the news that people get here is very pro-Republican, pro-Trump. You know, they're not seeing all the stuff that he's doing that they're all doing that to hurt them, and it will take a few years before they really feel the harsh effects of it. So I'm trying to speed that process up. I mean, not the feeling the effects part, but trying to get them to see that the stuff that they're. I don't want them to wait to feel the effects of it. I want them to know about it before we get to that point. So, yeah, and that's what I'm trying to work on. But it's just really hard here when the means of communication is just really. It's hard to reach people that live 20 miles up in a holler and doesn't have internet or phone or anything. Even going door to door, because it's like you got to drive all the way out in BFE, go knock on somebody's door, then you drive another 20 miles. Yes, religion is a force to control people. Well, yeah, it doesn't encourage critical thinking, which was my problem with it. I ask questions. My grandma told me, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. So when I was in church, they would tell me stuff, I would ask questions. And then they would just say, well, that's just the way it is because Jesus or because God. I'm like, well, that's not really an answer, you know. So then I started looking into, Catholicism, and I was like, same thing. And then I looked, so I was like, oh, but then I found out about all these other religions, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, none of them. I mean, it all kind of follows the same premise, but it's all questions and facts and evidence is not encouraged in these settings, which is why politicians love those people, love them. I mean, because when they are told to do something, they do it, and they don't think about why at all. I mean, that's what bugs me is this artificial dumbing down of people because uh, I don't think people are that dumb. I don't think that stupidity is that rampant. I just think that between mainstream media and our politicians and our educational system and religion, all these things artificially make people they're using a fraction of what they're capable of. Like they're just better than this. They're smarter than this. Yeah, and some of it's just laziness. Some of it is just um, things are bad, and we want to hold on to hope. Yeah, Gamer Dude did bring a great conversation last night, and I loved it because you could hear this. You could hear that he is looking for answers. He's looking for discussion. For those of y'all that didn't watch it last night, I was over on Mana Talk. We were doing a talk about Jesse Ventura. I mean, it's an open forum where anybody can join in, on the live stream. And this guy, Gamer49, got on there, and he's a Republican, and he's just looking for answers, and he wants to have a discussion, and he just doesn't understand why we can't just talk about things, and there was so much that we did agree on, and it was just, I mean, there was stuff we didn't agree on, but we heard each other out and was just listening and talking about facts and what to do, and it was just really refreshing having somebody from the opposite side that says, you know what, I'm just trying to do the same thing you are. I wanted a good take on Christians. Listen to Mike Malloy. from Georgia. He has a YouTube channel. What's... No, and yeah, that's another thing is the church does, when you look at things in the past, there's a lot of times when I was growing up, if it wasn't for the church, I wouldn't have had dinner. I wouldn't have had Christmas, stuff like that. But these are also things that keep us indebted. We shouldn't have to have a religious group come in to, take care of it. We should have the means to take care of ourselves. Yeah, many places that's the only thing holding communities together. I mean, that's what we have here. I mean, that's exactly what we have here. I really need to mute this. Sorry to anybody that's listening with earbuds in. No. Yeah, no, we can't. No, nobody's going to save us. So that's what we're here doing. We're here trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to ourselves, how we're going to fix ourselves. All right, coffee time. Yeah, self-responsibility. And I don't like to judge. It's just hard. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because when you see these people that just don't care or don't, I know why they are the way they are. I know why they think the way they think. And I'm not judging them. I don't blame them. At the same time, what they're doing is just not, this is why we have what we have. Which is nothing. Because we don't do anything except, where does our work go? All of our work that we do goes to making these fat cats fatter. It's not even for us anymore. I mean, all of it goes to them. When we're sitting here taking out credit cards and stuff just so that we can pay our electric bill and juggling and seeing, which utility we can pay this month and cutting prescription medications in half and, doing drugs and stuff like that just so that, we can take a break from the torture of poverty for, a few minutes. And this is not something that they have to do. They don't have to worry about, should I get a loaf of bread? I did this one time. I had pennies, and I was sitting there. I said, do I get gas to get my son to school, or do I get a loaf of bread so that he could eat? I was literally in that position before, literally counting pennies to see, do I feed my son or do I get him to school? Joe Manchin doesn't have to do that. Jim Justice doesn't have to do that. Trump doesn't have to do that. Nancy Pelosi, any of these people, none of them, never. It's not like they had to do that before, and now, since they worked so hard and they were so smart, that's how they got to the top. No, never. American Jesus documentary. Okay. Man, y'all gonna keep me busy with all this stuff. I mean, it's good. It's good. I need this. Where did I go? American Jesus. Is that on YouTube or Netflix or? We pay for their health care and they deny us health care. Exactly. All right. Let's see what time it is. 1 o'clock? Oh, we still got time. I can really take this piece of cardboard is squash. Guess it's cardboard because I hate squash. Oh my God, I was there. I was there with pizza because I don't really make enough money to buy groceries. Uh, I I just eat like wasted pizza from work, and it got to the point where I hated it so much. I was like, yeah, I guess I just won't eat. I'm good. I'm good. Never mind. I don't need to eat today. All right. It's getting better though. It's getting a little bit better now that some of my bills are getting caught up. Anybody else have a problem with the video freezing? Oh no. Do you still have sound? Hold on. How about now? We good now? What's it doing? What's it doing? Okay, so it's working now. Good. Good deal. I ate 3 days a week. I worked on a life, fed granddaughters instead. Thanks, America. Yeah, that's my grandma used to do that. She would feed her kids, and then you know what her dinner was? She'd take a piece of bread and wipe the bowl. One time she went a whole week, and the only thing she could afford was a pack of gum, so she just chewed a piece of gum every day. Frozen again. Oh, bless it. Bless it. Yeah, the fast food. Fast food is a problem. Not it's more of a financial drain, but the sometimes and like I've fallen into this trap before with the fast food. Uh, is by the time I get out of work, the stores are closed, and or stuff like that. It's not. It's definitely not cheaper getting fast food. You ever wonder if they have people who are just killing connections on anything? I do wonder that. I was looking at my watch hours because in order to do Super Chat, like you have to have so many subscribers and so many watch hours. And for some reason, my watch hours went down. How do you take back what you watched? That doesn't even make sense. Like, how do my watch hours go down? I know. That's why I always talk about my grandma because she was the strongest person I've ever known, the smartest person I've ever known, and the most compassionate. I mean, she would have given a shirt off her back to help somebody, even if she didn't even have to know them. She would take in strays, and I'm not talking about cats. I'm talking about kids. The doors were always open. Anybody, I mean, everybody that, with their families, a lot of their parents had checked out and didn't really care. And she would just take him in. She's like, just, mind the rules, be good, be respectful, and, you can always stay here. Yeah, it could be it. I did mention Unity4J, and I do watch them and try to get back into helping them out too. You need a laptop. Yeah, Snork's going to help me get my laptop fixed up because he's, brilliant at stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I really got to mute my phone next time. Yeah, and everybody that she helped, every life she touched was just made better and a little bit sweeter for it. I mean, I can see people. There was 2 brothers, and one of them, my grandma raised. The other one she didn't, and you could see just the inner strength in the values that one of them had and the other one didn't. I mean, you get just the difference in their lives and what she did for people. I want to be like her, so that's why I do what I do. I had a freezing issue for a minute. Yeah, my percent thinking is that 100K represent your people. You can't be worse than Dog Joe. Yeah, and they have jail. Oh my God, people leave me alone. Yeah, they have dental. I'd love to get my teeth fixed. Free healthcare? Yeah. Maybe that's what we should start doing. Like all these people that are like, homeless or need some dental work. Yeah. Are you out of a job? Are you unemployed? Well, run for office. I would vote for an unemployed person to put them in office before anybody like Joe. What are they going to be really? Could they be any worse than Joe Manchin? That should be our new jobs program. Just take over Congress. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would love to see that go from homeless to living in a mansion. Oh no. They ate your teeth. $700. Yeah. The dental that I have, it only covers extraction, and they don't even cover like anything to like fix it or replace it. Like, how do you go through that and say like, well, you just don't need teeth? That's not a thing. People need teeth. Eating fresh cloves and garlic. And I remember my grandma. She popped in every day that way. Oh yeah, my grandma would eat just while she was fixing her. She'd eat like raw onions and potatoes. Like, I mean, dental coverage is deliberately bad. I don't get it. I mean, you can literally die from having an abscessed tooth. Not to mention, people think that like, when they see my teeth. Well, mine was because when I was pregnant, the I guess I wasn't getting good enough nutrition or whatever, and my teeth started to crumble because babies don't care. They will take it where they get it, and they took it out of my teeth. And so now, I mean, my mom actually asked me if I was on meth. Like, she thought I was doing drugs because my teeth look like that. And I've always had perfect teeth. They were always straight, always took great care of them. And then she's like, you can tell me, it's okay. Are you on drugs? And I'm like, Mom, I'm not on drugs. This is the struggle. Like, and she saw my hands. Like, my hands were all, just cut up, and it really looked like I'd been like just punching a wall. Like, and she was like, are you okay? Are you been getting into fights? Like, what's going on? I said, no, Mom, I work. This is what your hands look like when you work. So yeah, I look I look a little scrappy. That's so much money for teeth. I mean, that just shouldn't. And it's made me a lot sadder because I mean I can't. I mean I have to watch because there's certain foods I can't eat. You know, I can't even smile without being self-conscious about it. You know, it just sucks. And then my job's like, greet every customer with a smile. Well, fix my teeth. Yeah. I mean, I have my reasons. Bob said we'll get that state turned back to blue. Yeah, I'm I'm more of a green. I'm a registered independent, but I identify more with the Green Party than anything. All right, see you later, Schulte. Thank you for all your input and information, and thanks for the conversation. You take it easy, okay? And stay safe. Um, yeah, I'm not asking them to vote for blue or vote for green. I'm just asking them to just stop and think about what's important to them and who's going to fight for them to get that. You know, you do what you got to do, and if you think some people believe in reforming the Democratic Party. If that's near and dear to your heart, I think whatever we set our minds to doing, we can do it. But we have to be smart about it too, and realize, like, uh, these things are not going to happen easily. People never save us. We're not colors, we're human beings. Not according to the Democrats. According to them, we have black people and brown people and white people, and we have women and men, and look at all this diversity that we have that all agree on screwing over the poor people. Yeah, Chris said British, according to them, have a stereotype of crap teeth. Now, is mining a big thing over there? Is that something that happens, or did it used to be? I know because here, a lot of the reason why we have bad teeth is due to the water and the chemicals that are in the water from the mining um, runoff and stuff. So, when you see these stereotypes, a lot of times there's a very painful reason that is the way that it is. Um, so that's one of the reasons. Just like the South gets accused of what's the stereotype for West Virginia? Um, oh, you fuck your cousins. You know why? Because the our birth defect rate is so high in these mining areas because of the chemicals. It causes birth defects and miscarriages and stuff. And and the cancer rates too. And when the coal companies were questioned about it, they said, well, yeah, that's a possibility, but have you considered the possibility of consanguinity, which is a big fancy $3 word for incest? They said, well, yeah. I mean, it could be the chemicals that we're pumping into their bodies, but have you ever thought that maybe they're just inbred? That's literally what they said. I mean, they had to retract it, but that's why we have that stereotype. And people just laugh and they think it's funny and they just chalk it up to, look at all these stupid West Virginians. Well, people in the South are dumb. Well, look at our educational system. Look at what we have to live with. This is not, things aren't handed to us. Okay, we're busy surviving. Yeah, and you know what? The thing is you notice how more and more of America is turning red. More and more of America are feeling what we're feeling. That's why it's spreading like a virus, because poverty is spreading like a virus. Anthony said, I'm tired of politicians wearing suits and Hillary Clinton having $1,000 jumpsuits well, 51% of the country is broke. I always said that, like, if I ever ran for office, I just wear my jeans and t-shirt, because that's what I'm not here to look pretty. I'm here to work. All right. I would vote for somebody in the t-shirt and jeans, they, their hair in a ponytail, than I would any of these people with their perfectly coiffed bob and hair sprayed and their face painted on and their $10,000 suits, and you know, like I want somebody like Bernie hair. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time to worry about this because my time is going towards fixing the country. Well, okay, stable. I'm willing to hear you out a little bit more on that. So you're sick of hearing that excuse that people are hurting economically. Eh, so what do you think the reason is? Do you think that they just liked him, or I'm not sure what you're saying with that. No. I get you. I hear you on some of that because I struggle with that too because I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, I work. I have kids. Um, and yet I didn't. I'm struggling too, but I didn't vote for Trump. So I don't. I wonder why some of these people do. Um, but I can't hate on the voters. I I, I question why they do what they do, but the real fault lies in our system that we're only given, these choices between Hillary or Trump. I mean, most of the people here, we did vote for Bernie. We voted for Bernie and we were robbed of it. And Hillary promised that, she wanted to train us for jobs that don't exist here. So if you wanted to live here, you needed that coal job. That's why they voted for Trump. And the anger towards the Democratic Party, because all this time and votes and all this stuff that we've given them over they wanted to screw them over. And a lot of this came down to, it was an emotional vote too. So, there's lots of different reasons for lots of different people. You can't just say, well, they all did this because of this thing. It's a very complex issue and I can't, speak for everyone, but these are just some of the reasons why I've heard people and why they did what they did. So what do you think we should do though, Sable? If that's not an excuse, like that's where I'm conflicted too because and I feel like a disconnect from people because they're voting for Trump and they're voting for Hillary and I'm over here like what? I feel like that's the only wasted vote at this point. The only wasted vote is another vote for these establishment people because that's just that means you're voting for more of the same. If you want something different, you're gonna have to vote differently and do something differently, and not just vote differently, but actually get out there. Well, stable. I'm trying to hear you out, but just calling them assholes and stuff and stupid, that's not really going to change the way that they vote. I mean, I just, we have to understand them, and we have to talk to them in order to get them to, maybe change their opinion or change their vote. I get angry about it too, but what will it take people in the streets? I don't know. And that's one of the most depressing things about this, honestly, is if we haven't. How is this not enough? How is it not enough? Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck if you're lucky. People are working all these jobs for no money. Our kids have no future. Our water is poisoned. Our air is poisoned. Our soil is poisoned. You know, we have nothing to choose from. All these options and no choice, no freedom, no time. I mean, the tank's on empty. Everybody's just running on fumes at this point. People are dropping like flies from the cancer, and they're dropping like flies from the opiate epidemic, and just living a life of poverty that puts you in an early grave. And you die before you'll ever have a chance to retire. And even if you do retire, they'll steal your pension and your health care. And yet, this isn't enough. The world is ending. It's on fire. We have things that are literally one half of the world that's on fire, the other half that is drowning. Mass extinction, everything. Look at it. The coral reefs are dying. Everything is dying. Everything is dying. Not just the planet and the animals and the humans. Everything's dying. But it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough for us to do anything about it, or to vote any differently, or to take to the streets. It's not enough. People, how are we not pissed off? How are we just say, well, I'm not political? That's why I get yes, yeah, same natural progressive. That's depression is just anger without the enthusiasm. So when I get depressed, I just find that enthusiasm to go out there and keep fighting again. And a lot of people have turned inward and they have fallen to the depression side of it. And it's time to get pissed and get organized. Shut it down. Shut it down. Because anger alone is just not going to cut it. That's what people did. They got angry and they reacted. It's good to be angry, but we can't just react out of fear, and we can't react from anger. We have to be smart with our reactions. So, I think one of these things that we're doing right now is we are having a discussion about what the problem is and how to go about fixing it. We're talking about what we want as far as policy. We're talking about, strategy. What we are, where is our line in the sand? What line are we not willing to cross morally, ethically, politically, in our strategy? Because a lot of these people, I mean, like Democrats and Republicans, they're okay with creating a problem for people just so they can be the savior and the ones to fix it. Like with the opiates, they'll create the opiate addiction, and then they'll also sell you the pill to cure it. So those are tactics that they are willing to go to in order to break people down to get them to do stuff. So, those are the lines that we won't cross. I'm not a person. They will use violence against us. They do use violence against us. They send us to fight wars. They send us, they break us down both, mentally and physically through the torture of poverty. Um, and I'm not willing to use torture. I'm not willing to use violence like they are. I don't want to become the thing that I'm fighting. So, but it also does put us at a disadvantage. I mean, but that just means we have to work harder in other areas. It's not impossible. We can do it. Instead of believing helping others with rising tide lifts all boats, they are giving in to uneducated and ignorant people. No. Yeah, we shouldn't give in to people that are wrong. Or that's what Hillary was saying. Well, we need to be more like the right so that people don't vote for the right, that they can vote for the left and still get right wing policies. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't You can't back down on this stuff. Mill workers in the north of England protested slavery, and the government sent in troops with fixed bayonets. Not taught in history classes, strangely enough, though. Yeah. You know what? I found out about the mine wars that happened here after I started. This was like fairly recently, like within the past few years. They cut us off from true history, the history that actually makes a difference and works, because they don't want us to know about that stuff. I mean, they were killing miners, striking miners. They were killing them. Sent in the United States Army, and they even dropped a bomb on us. Now, nobody got killed in the bomb itself, but yeah, it was a big whoopsie. Like, oh, whoops, oh, we're not bombing them. My bad. Yeah, but yeah, people were shot, people were killed, and the thing is, we weren't willing to kill people in the army because those were our people. Our problem wasn't with them. The problem was with the coal companies. And so, yeah, people laid down their weapons. Got all your overspending? What spending? What money? I hate Christmas so much. Yeah, we're getting more wars no matter who's president, that's for sure. More wars, more poverty, more everything. We're cattle. Yes, we are cattle to them. We're not human beings. We're animals. We're animals. We're animals that you can either use for slaughter, or we could be farm animals that, maybe like a work mule. Which kind of animal do you want to be? Do you want to be a work mule, or do you want to be, a cow for slaughter? Those are your options right now. As long as there's no draft, there will be no more. There will be more wars. It's average. Man. You want to be a cowboy? Same here, Peter. You know what? Because Peter said, "I'm a father. I'll fight. I'll fight to save the world for my son." I got 2 boys, 6 and 8, and I think about this all the time. I'm like, what do I tell them? What do I tell them? What advice? Because when I was young, my advice that was given to me was work hard, do good in school, go to college, and you won't have to live this life of poverty. You can escape from this. You won't have to sell all your stuff. You won't have to work cleaning people's toilets barehanded for $5 a day. I saw the way that it broke down my grandma's body. I mean, she was broken. And she's like, just use your brain, not your back. Use your brain, not your back. Well, guess what? I did. And it didn't help. And I don't know what to tell my children. What are they supposed to do? Can't tell them to go to college. Can't tell them to work hard and it'll all pay off. So this is why I fight. Because there's nothing scarier than screwing with a mother's kids. It overrides any other instinct, even your survival instinct. I mean, a mom who's protecting her kids will run headfirst in any kind of danger. Does not matter. They're not even thinking about themselves. It overrides even the most strongest instinct, survival instinct. So when they're messing with my kids and my kids' future, I am like a laser focus on this issue. This is what I fight for. This is what I live for. Because it's not just my kids. We're all in this. That's why parents are very dangerous. That's why they keep us overworked. That's why we don't get things like leave and all this stuff. They don't give it, we don't get, I wouldn't say give us. I hate saying give us because we don't get what we've earned. We don't, we've earned time off when we have kids. Mothers and fathers should be able to stay at home with their kids. They've earned that. When we are going to work, we've earned daycare. We've earned an education for our kids. And yet they make it as hard as possible for us to even be with our children. We don't get to spend time with them. We've got, what is it called, latchkey kids. Our homes are empty, and our schools, they're not helping them any, except to teach them to regurgitate back some information and that was written down by a bunch of government officials that decided that this is what our children should have to learn. Yeah, we do need to reintegrate Trump supporters into reality, but I wouldn't say give them the first pick of jobs. I mean, there's plenty to go around for everybody. Totally out of blue thought we need to end all sports and stop sending teams flying all over the world, wasting so many resources. Yeah, I'm not a big sports person. I mean, other than I know generally there's a ball involved and you have to keep it away from the other team and get it to a certain area. But I mean, I don't really see the importance of sports. I mean, it's fun to play. I mean, it's not like I haven't played basketball, or it's fun to play, but to watch it, it's like, wow, I don't get it. Yeah, well, I've been looking for those bootstraps. They're stable. I seem to have misplaced them. I mean, I do. I mean, when I work hard. That's the thing. I don't like, even if it's a job that I don't think is important or whatever. When I do something, I want to do it well. I don't believe in half-assing stuff. I'm always looking for ways to do things better, to improve. I'm always trying to improve myself and the things around me, and with that kind of work and attitude and stuff, I just like, why am I still in this situation? Like, why? I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing to go to school and all this stuff. Like, I'm not uneducated. I mean, but here we are. I only got half a set of teeth and, nothing in the bank. No, you're right, propaganda. Like, there's a difference between. I'm not saying like just Trump supporters should like just get the pick, but as far as like coal miners, yes, they need. And I don't understand why nobody goes in and talks to them. Like, nobody just goes in and just says, they just keep getting promised the same job. Well, talk to them and find out what kind of jobs would they like to work. If coal goes, which I would like to see it, made obsolete, where nobody grew up. I mean, some people did because it's what their dads and their grandpas did. But that's not the only thing that they want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, they're proud of their family and the hard work that they put in, right? And they can still do that. They can still do that. I mean, their grandpa and their dad did not want them to work in coal mining jobs. They wanted better for them. So, it's time that we wanted better for ourselves too. So just talk to them. Ask them, well, what do you want to do? What kind of jobs would you like to see here? So instead of coal mining, would you like to maybe get into farming? Would you like to work on installing solar panels? Do you want to go back to school? You know, I mean, but this is a discussion, and you're going to have to talk to people, and you're going to have to, get some information and see what we can work out. I don't understand why it has to be this. Well, here's the jobs you're going to get. You know, if we're creating jobs, why not, create the jobs and tailor it to that community? Oh yeah, I don't believe in that either. The private prison jobs. Do you, some people are, they're messed up, and some people like get off on that kind of thing, like working in a job like that. But my ex-husband did it, and not that he was a wonderful man. I really, uh, he's my ex-husband for a reason. But he worked in a prison, and he couldn't do. He couldn't be that big of an asshole. He was like, well, these are human beings, and they're like, what are you talking about? They're prisoners. I mean, that's bad when they were too much of an asshole even for him. Yeah, and people shouldn't have to have jobs like that where, I mean, it's just bad. It's bad all around. And we're not all rocket scientists. I know. I'm not a math magician. I mean, uh, uh, but I am, be able to pursue. Everybody has something to offer, though. That's the thing. When you do what you're passionate about, and you really apply yourself, there's no shortage of stuff that needs to be done. There's no job that's too small or too big. You know, private prison labor forces us to compete against slave labor in America. Yes, exactly. New prison built on wetlands. Well, if that isn't just apocalyptic, you should. I encourage everybody to do it. Everybody should. I mean, the more voices, the better. I mean, that's why I'm doing. One of the reasons why I do what I do is because I wasn't, mainstream media cast a certain light on the people that lived here. I didn't think that they were representing the truly what we are here. They didn't talk about um, the important stuff that actually happens here. No, the news wasn't getting covered. The people were represented in a terrible way, and I'm just like, enough's enough. If I don't hear a voice out there, I was always taught, if you see a job that needs to be done, do the job. Don't ask somebody, just do it. And so nobody was doing it, so somebody has to do it, right? We're supposed to believe Americans are the most evil people on earth, that we deserve to be the most imprisoned people in the history of the world. And that's why I think one of our policies should be the decriminalization of drugs. Prison, jail should only be for violent offenders. That is literally why you have to lock them up, because they are a danger to the rest of society. Somebody that is doing something to themselves, or that isn't a threat to other people, why why are they locked up? Oh, because we need that slave labor. Yeah, how many children raised in foster care paid by the federal government become successful adults? No, it's almost like when you go in and break up a family, and take away, an income earner, and take away a parent, a loving person that could, be there for a child. It's like, kid doesn't get what they need in order to grow up to be like a fully functioning adult. Oh, thank you, Carl. Yeah, yeah. And somebody called me out. They were like, you questioning uh, AOC for voting for Pelosi makes me wonder if you're a real progressive. I'm like, okay, so she votes Pelosi, and you say 3D chess, but I question her vote for Pelosi, and I'm the fake progressive. Okay, whatever, whatever. Oh no, I'm not live on Facebook. I don't know how to do all that. I'm just trying to talk to y'all through my phone right now. I feel as if talking and playing are so. Yeah, I know. I get so wrapped up, and I just love talking to. I love talking to people about this stuff. It's not something I ever really get to do like in my day to day life as much. So when I get on here, I do love to talk, and I get up on my soapbox. But yes, we'll get back to our our strategy and our policy. The Green New Deal. Are we for it here? Yes. Yes, we are. So I'm going to say if we had to pick three policies just to start off with for our Green New Deal, what would it be for y'all? Okay, end fracking. Install solar. I need a new page. I didn't doodle over that one. All right, well, all right. Install solar. End fracking. End war. Now we're gonna have to go through probably tomorrow, do another live stream where we can really map out and get in depth with just how we plan on implementing some of these things. I think ending war is probably one of our um, that would free up a lot of people, a lot of lives, a lot of money. Solar, wind, and hydro change our energy system. Mm-hmm. So where, what do you think is the difference? Should we just go with, okay, Chad said legalizing cannabis. Should we do legalizing cannabis or decriminalizing drugs? Oh, money out of politics. That's a huge one, definitely. In capitalism. Ooh, man, would I love to see that. I don't get people, even like people on the left. They're like afraid to criticize capitalism. I think it's just that's the opiate of the rich. You know what I mean? Like we have Christianity, they have um, capitalism. Doesn't make any sense, but it makes them feel good. All drugs, yeah. Well, see that I might not be using the right term for it. I don't think that people should be locked up in jail for drugs. I don't think that all drugs should be legal. You know what I mean? Like you can go and buy cannabis, but you shouldn't be able to go out and buy, you know, I don't know, whatever, crack or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he said a new Declaration of Human Rights. I mean, our Constitution, all this stuff, it all needs redone. I mean, it's like a computer. You can't use a computer from 300 years ago and say, well, it doesn't need updated. It's all right. I mean, okay, from the 80s. Can you imagine trying to use a computer from the 80s now? Like, not, like, it's fine. We don't need to update any of the programs. Everything's just perfect. It'll work like this for the next 1,000 years. You know, no. Things need to be updated and modernized, and it's not. Yeah, driving. Now, see, that's the thing. Driving under the influence is still legal. And yes, you're putting people in harm's way. That's a jail offense. But it can't be just jail, because then you're also, it has to be a little bit of both. Murder committed suicide because he got into bath salts after drinking the fake version of marijuana, then fake version of coke. Oh God, that's awful. Yeah, I've heard some real horror stories about that. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, we'll discuss this a little bit more. We'll do a whole live stream about it. Cannabis, legal. Okay, so right now I've got, we're going to have to change our energy infrastructure, end fracking, end war, money out of politics, legalize cannabis. So that's 5. We got 5 so far. See what time it is. 2 o'clock. All right. I'm going to start wrapping this up. New net neutrality rules too. I mean, we need to maybe reinstate habeas corpus. Healthcare. Yes, healthcare. Oh, yes, election reform. Yes, 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 yes. Can't believe I didn't put that on there, like, first and foremost. You know how much I ran about it. Rick Simpson story on YouTube. I need to start making these videos a little bit shorter, because, I don't want to have, like, this big block of, that nobody's going to pay. I mean, like, I want people to be able to actually consume the stuff that we're talking about. It's kind of hard when we do, like, these 2-hour shows. But it's kind of hard not to when, we're talking about complex stuff like this. Prison reform, criminal justice reform. Okay. More specific topics. Yeah, this one was really general and vague, because I'm just trying to get a feel for what our focus needs to be. So, and as we go along, we'll get a little bit quicker with this and more specific. So yeah, because this one's going on like 2 hours, and ain't nobody gonna watch this. That's okay. We needed to talk about this stuff though. Podcasting. Podcasting sounds like fun, but also podcasting. I know what you're talking about, but podcasting, yeah. Free education. Next episode. Yeah, I should, I should go ahead and like maybe do some cliff notes of this one. Because I get caught up talking to y'all, and we start having like personal conversations and anecdotes and stuff. So yeah, I'll just go through and just do some cliff notes and condense it down to a video that's more digestible. Because I mean, I want this to be for people that are working, that are busy, that have kids. Something that that quick that they can get the information and hear about the issues and stuff. So, all right, condense cliff notes version. I'll write that down. Thank you. See, this is why we talk about stuff. I don't have a fully functioning brain of my own, so between all of us, we can form one working brain. Oh, so many have so little, while so few have so much. Hold on. Let me mute this while Okay. I used to have this magnet, and it said, "We the unwilling, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much with so little for so long. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing." And that's pretty much how I feel. It's like, I really didn't want to do this. I didn't really want, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I'll figure it out. But I do help people. I do want to make things better. I've always had that instinct, but yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there needs to be a specific plan for people that work in coal or oil workers. Exactly, Rosenfield. I mean, because these people are they're scared that they're going to lose what little they have. And I want to be able to show them, like, you don't have anything to worry about. Here's our plan. Here's what we're going to do. Incorporate them into the process so they don't feel like we're just, making decisions about their lives when we don't know anything about their lives. Bring them into the process and, bring them into the process so that they're not afraid of that. Phone, stop it. Who's Putin's buddy? Redneck is. Yeah, I'm a big old Russian bot. Oh, please make my phone stop. The Justice League. Yeah, get all dangerously close to communist Russia. Down with capitalism. We must take back the means of production and shut it down. I don't know. I don't know about communism. I don't know about capitalism. I just know shit that we're doing now ain't working. Mm-hmm. All right. So this is a really good start. We've got some solid policies here that we can start, you know, fleshing out a little bit. And when, as we're doing that, strategy just goes hand in hand with this. Because we need to really focus on the policies that are going to strengthen our strategy. And to have a working strategy, we need as many people that have time and to be able to free up their minds and stuff for this. So, mad as hell, we're not going to take it anymore. That's for sure. Karl Marx. I haven't read any of the books. I've heard some of the, ideas, but with alternative means of communication. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end on this. Y'all have given me a lot to think about. I might do another one later since once I get the kids in bed. All right, so we got this. We've got this. I just want y'all to know that. Like, I know we get bleak on here and things look bad, but as long as we stay strong in this and we got each other's backs, we can do this. It's not impossible. We've got it. We've got good people doing good things, and we're talking about it. We're getting it together. All right. It's possible. It's doable, and we're gonna be the ones to do it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I need to get a shower. I need to go get my boy, in which I haven't seen him in like a week. I've been missing him so much. Ben, what did Ben say real quick? The Democrats propaganda. Remember that the CIA plan like this all day, every day. Oh yeah, they have buildings with rooms full of people that are paid to think of ways to keep us from doing this, and we have to counteract that. Ben said the Democrats' big new policy is to limit free speech. Oh yeah, curtailing freedom of the internet information. Yep, we got this. Yes, we got this. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Lisa Hauserman is live right now, so I'm probably going to jump over there for a few minutes while I'm getting ready, and hopefully I'll see you over there. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for talking with me and helping me plan this. All right, good night. Yes. See you later.